What's up guys, it's Sheldon and welcome back to my channel. I have the stats video that got me into UNC Chapel Hill. I'll be reading over my essays as well, both my Common App essay and my UNC supplements, and going over my stats, extracurriculars, classes, all that stuff that could help you guys with your college applications. Starting off with my grades and courses, I'll start there. So I started taking high school level courses my 8th grade year. I took high school algebra and then high school Spanish 1. And I took those in 8th grade. For Algebra 1, first semester I got a B+, and second semester I got an A-. And then for Spanish 1, first semester was an A, second semester was an A. So then freshman year is when I know some kids in my grade started taking AP classes. And mind you, I switched high schools 3 times. So 8th grade and 9th grade was the same school district. And then at the very end of 9th grade, I switched from a semester school to a trimester school. So they really only did semester 1 and then trimester 3, so my transcript was kind of messed up too. But freshman year I took biology, econ, English 9, geometry, Spanish 2, and strength and conditioning, and I got all A's and A- in those classes. Then trimester 3 at my second high school that I went to, I took biology, English 9, geometry, PHW health, and Spanish 2, and I got all A's and an A- in English. Okay, moving on to 10th grade, this was the same school that I went to at the very end of freshman year, where it was a trimester schedule. So for trimester 1, this is where I started taking AP classes. I took 1 AP class and 1 honors class. The honors didn't really affect my GPA, but I took AP US History, Honors Algebra 2, Parent and Child, Personal Conditioning, and Spanish 3. I got all A's, but an A- and A push and Honors Algebra 2. Then trimester 2 of sophomore year, I did A push again, Chemistry, English, Honors Algebra 2, and Journalism. I got all A's, but a B+ and A push. This was when we were moving again, and I was getting ready to go to a new high school after my sophomore year, and so I was commuting like an hour away from school, and I had to live with my grandparents for a bit. So there was so much going on in my personal life that also contributed to my grades, and my best friend passed. So second and third trimester is where my grades started to decline a bit. So third trimester of sophomore year, I took A push, Chemistry, English 10, Honors Algebra 2, and Spanish 3. I got all A's, but an A- in Chemistry and a B in A push. But this did contribute to my lower GPA. Not as much as I'm going to get into junior year. Junior year, I switched high schools again, so this is my 3rd high school, and back to a semester system. I only took 1 AP class. That was one of my biggest regrets. I only took AP Computer Science. So first semester junior year, I took AP Computer Science, English 3, Physical Science, Pre-Calc, Spanish 4, and World History. So I definitely could have taken AP Lang instead of regular English, and I could have taken AP World instead of World History. I should have done those two. And I got all A's in all of my classes except for a C+, which was in Pre-Calc. And that is when my GPA started to tank. Pre-Calc was super hard. If I could go back, I would not take Pre-Calc. Then second semester, it's the same classes, and I got all A's but an A- in World History. Then I got a C in Pre-Calc. So after a C+ first semester, a C second semester, I really thought my life was over, and only taking 1 AP class. Then senior year is where I loaded up on APs because I knew I needed to get my GPA up. Senior year, my GPA was the lowest it had ever been, not gonna lie. So senior year, I took AP Calc BC, AP Lit, AP Macroeconomics, AP Psychology, and AP Government and TV Production. I got a C+ in Calc BC, which I don't know why I took Calc BC. All my teachers and fellow classmates and peers said that I should have done AP Stats, but I wanted to prove them wrong, and I didn't. I proved them right, and I got a C+, which significantly tanked my GPA, and then I got a B+ in AP Lit. I also got an A- in AP Macro and an A- in AP Gov. But I think the A- were fine. Even the B+ was okay. Second semester, senioritis. Senioritis is a real thing. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Second semester hit me really hard. So in AP Calc BC, I got a D+. A D+. I was so close to not passing the class. Then AP Lit, B+, AP Microeconomics, an A- and AP Gov, a B+. Now for my stats. So for class rank on the Common App, I put top 20%. There was 346 kids in my grade. I was technically top 15%, but Common App, you can only go by the 10th, so it's either top 10% or top 20%. Then I submitted my unweighted GPA because my weighted GPA was like a 3.9, and so I thought that would look worse if my weighted GPA was under a 4 point. So for my unweighted GPA, I had a 3.7879 out of 4. I didn't submit any AP scores, and I went test optional. Now for my honors and awards. For the first award, it was an international award. I put Summer Business Academy Scholar. I won a full ride scholarship to a competitive program at University of Michigan, Ross School of Business. Then the next one was a national award I put down, 12th grade year, which was the College Board National African American Recognition Award. Put that down. Then I put the Capital of Michigan All Academic Award, given for being competitive athlete and having a high GPA. I put that down. 10th grade, DECA state qualifier, chosen from 14 to advance to states. And then my last one was another state award, which was Varsity Track and Field All Conference Award. Placed top 10 in the conference out of 50 plus athletes. So 2 of them were track related, which were non-academic. I would recommend having more academic ones if possible, but I mean, put down what you can. You don't have to fill them all out. I just wanted to. And now the most important part, which is my activities. First one, I put in internship. I was a marketing intern / database manager at an international real estate agency called Keller Williams Realty. All right, so the next one I put down was I was the vice president and district representative for DECA. And I only did this 1 year. Again, most of these activities I think was also contributed to like a negative score, is I wasn't able to do a lot of these for a long period of time because I switched high schools so much. And because of that, I think that gave me a disadvantage. All right, the next one I put down for the third activity was I was a volunteer. I was an advisory board member for a local nonprofit called Billy Bear Hug Foundation. It was a youth-led nonprofit aimed to help kids with critical illnesses. The next one I put down for number 4 was I was the founder and director of my church's media team. For number 5, I put down that I was a content creator for TikTok, YouTube, and the College Board. Next one was I was the founder and president of my school's podcast club called Scott Speak, which is dedicated to amplifying student voices and sharing stories. The next one was I was the co-director and social media manager for my high school's news and media team. After that, I was a volunteer for a nonprofit organization called 1,000 Families of Color, and within my church and jurisdiction, I did a lot of volunteer work with that as well. After that, I put down that I had a part-time job at Hollister, and I was also a Spanish translator there. And then the last one I put down for the activities section was I was a participant in the University of Michigan Stephen M. Ross School of Business Summer Business Academy, which is where I got the award from. I also did one at NYU that I'm going to show you guys in my additional information section, but when I applied at NYU, I swapped it out. So I did the NYU one where I put the Michigan one for the other schools and put the Michigan one in my additional information section specifically for NYU. All right, so now we're in the portion of the video where I want to thank our sponsor, Joby, for gifting me one of their mics. So if you guys don't know, Joby is a very popular brand among creators on YouTube, and specifically because they have a lot of things like their mics and stuff that have high compatibility with Canon cameras and Sony cameras. I got a mic, they sent me this Joby Wave mic that I can use on my Canon G7X Mark III. So that's what it looks like. I got this thing right here. It's just a plug-in for the mic and my camera. This right here, this thing right here. Here is what the mic looks like. It just says Joby for wind resistance. And then I have this that I can add onto the mic. And lastly, the essays. So I have my additional information section, my Common App essay, and then I go to my UNC supplements. For my additional information section, I basically just described things with my course and leadership limitations about moving all the time, what happened with my grades sophomore year and junior year with the C and pre-calc, and then I talked about my other extracurriculars. If you're going to write in the additional information section, I recommend being very clear, very concise, and just doing bullet points so they can skim over it, because they already looked at your essays, they already looked at a lot of writing, and these admissions officers are going very quick through your application. They don't have time to read something very lengthy. Alright, so here's my Common App essay that I wrote. So the topic was, the lessons we take from obstacles we encounter can be fundamental to later success. Recount a time when you faced a challenge, setback, or failure. How did it affect you, and what did you learn from the experience? So here is what I wrote for my Common App essay. For the past few summers, I've been emphatically obsessed with princesses and Disney. That's right, I'm a 17-year-old boy who spends his free time binge watching princess movies. One personal favorite would have to be Tiana and her story, Princess and the Frog. Most who've seen this movie probably can't fancy why a story about a girl who gets turned into a talking frog has made such an impact on a teenage boy's life. And rightfully so. It is hard to see past the talking frogs and magic spells. I, however, see the meticulously crafted message embedded behind the fantasy. Tiana was a girl who had a dream and battled the full force of Murphy's Law. Deceased father, chased by a voodoo man, almost eaten alive, on her way to achieving said dream. Still, Tiana faced each problem with a stoic mindset, highlighting the importance of hard work and perseverance. Similar to Tiana, I too have struggled to strategically play the hand I've been dealt. I've lived in 8 towns, 4 houses, 3 cities, 2 states, apartments, townhouses, and duplexes. The result? 4 elementary schools, 3 high schools, 2 middle schools, and moving in with my grandparents 2 separate times, all by the ripe age of 16, usually due to my parents' jobs or lack thereof. While moving has given me the opportunity to meet new people and a fresh start, it has also presented itself with many obstacles, constantly having to adjust to my forever changing academic and social environment, overcoming racial prejudice being in predominantly white spaces, and battling imposter syndrome. By the time you've reached high school, most people already have their group consisting of the same people they've known since kindergarten, with no intentions of expanding it and no intentions of getting to know me. With each move, my identity was reduced to just 3 words: the new kid. These experiences left me with a deep longing to be accepted, wanted, and valued. The one thing I desperately wanted, stability and a group of friends, was just out of reach, leaving me lonely and deprived of many opportunities that came with belonging to a single community. Fortunately, when life gives you circumstances that near fictional lore, you confide in Disney movies. I thought back on how Tiana felt after finally being able to afford the restaurant she spent her entire life saving for, just to be told she had been outbid and that someone of her background wouldn't be successful running their own restaurant. Rather than wallowing in self-pity, she embarked on her own journey of fulfillment and rediscovery. Through Tiana's struggles, I, in turn, overcame my own, learning life takes everyone by surprise, and there will always be challenges before seeing tangible results in anything you pursue. But the challenges are what teach us the lessons, make us stronger, and shift our perspectives. Because of this, I learned that sometimes what we need and what we want don't always align, but sometimes life's plan for us may be even better than what we ever could have wanted for ourselves. Tiana found community in her talents bringing guests together through her restaurant. Similarly, I found community through my ability to inspire and humor others, bringing together 40,000 followers. In my role as a small content creator on YouTube and TikTok, I've created a community that stretches to over 15 countries and 6 continents by curating content that today's teens can relate to, giving them the one thing I wish I had sooner: hope. As I prepare to attend college, I'm hopeful I'll find a home where I can build meaningful relationships, find community, and access opportunities high school me only dreamed of. Although I'll certainly continue to face regular challenges, hopefully none involving magical spells, I'll do so with the same tenacious mindset as Tiana, recognizing the power and claiming control over seemingly uncontrollable situations. That was my Common App essay, and now I'll read you guys my UNC essays. So the first prompt was about community, and I talked about my church. Here's the first prompt for UNC. The word community has always left a vulgar taste in my mouth, largely due to how much I've had to move as a kid. Contrary to the many short-lived communities I've been in, one has remained constant: church. Little did I know that in January of 2020, my religious bubble was about to burst. My parents were the new pastor and first lady of the church I now call home. I became known as pastor's son, and this label often casted a shadow over my individuality. However, when the COVID pandemic hit, I redefined this label, stepping up to support my parents and community. Armed with a tripod, an iPhone, and our sunroom, I managed our social media accounts, filmed videos, and oversaw virtual services. As we transitioned back to in-person services, I became an expert with computer technology, taking my previous camera and videography skills and applying them to the physical church building. I was now the church media director, not just pastor's son. As media director, I educated my community, leading and mentoring 10 individuals and acclimating them with the media and its vital role in connecting our physical and online community. Over the past 4 years, I've served a congregation of over 40 members and an online community of over 800 followers and viewers. Now, when I think of the word community, I'm reminded of my passion for film and media and how I've used it to cultivate others with similar passions and serve my religious community. The second essay was what I'm excited to study in college, and I talked about business and specifically mental health and educational equity. in relation to economics. And this is what got me assured admission to the UNC Kenan-Flagler School of Business. At college, I went to explore and learn more about social entrepreneurship and how I can use business to coincide with it to create positive change. At UNC specifically, I'm elated to take Busy 507 Sustainable Business and Social Entrepreneurship through the Kenan-Flagler Undergraduate Business Program. As a young, inspiring changemaker, I already have ideals I want to implement through the confines of the mental health pandemic and educational equity. Learning more about specific business implications to help create a solution for issues I'm passionate about will help me step one foot closer to positive impact in these particular areas. Taking this course, I'll be provided with not only business skills to alleviate educational disparities and the mental health crisis, but it'll also inform me to understand my why. Why do I want to see suicide rates decrease? Why do I want students to have a quality education despite their socioeconomic backgrounds? Understanding my why will help me leverage my passion for social impact and business to learn how to approach problems innovatively. Additionally, I want to partake in research such as what areas have higher mental health crisis so I can find what the correlation is or how students' academic performance relates to economic prosperity or disparity in certain communities. By partaking in research and attending speaker events led by successful social entrepreneurs, I'd be able to use my passion for social impact and business to make effective, tangible change within my community. So those were the two essays that I wrote for UNC as a supplement, and those were my Common App essay. And those were all my stats and extracurriculars and all the things like that helped me get into UNC as an out-of-state student. See you guys in my next video. Peace.